doing? Pooping? Are you playing Final Fantasy VII for the PS1 on your PSP? Yeah. Give me that shit. No! You don't need this garbage. Bleh. Don't you know there's a remake? But it's not out yet. What do you know? Come on, I'll show you. Ah! Final Fantasy VII. Everyone loves it. You love it. I love it. We all fucking love it.
Actually, Final Fantasy VI is the best in the series.
What? Shut up. Yeah, Final Fantasy VI sucked my dick. Anyway, when Final Fantasy VII came out, it blew our minds. Hell, I remember the first time I saw this game. Diddly-doo. My friend was like, you gotta see this new game I got. Okay. Whoosh. Wait. Whoa. Oh my god. Does that guy have a gun for an arm? What was that? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I know, right? So I went down, local GameStop, traded in some old crap games I don't remember. I said, sir, give me your finest copy of Final Fantasy VII. Okay. Boom. I opened it up. 3 discs. 3 discs. It was like having 3 video games in one. It was awesome. So I went home, put it in my PS2, realized I needed a PlayStation 1 memory card. More GameStop, more crap games. Okay. This game had everything. It had a grand epic story, heroes and villains, monsters and magic, love and loss, trains, trans, tits. Seriously, what more could you want? Like so many other people, it was my first introduction to RPGs. It sold 10 million copies on the PS1 alone, and now it's on everything. You can play it on your phone, on your PC, PS4, doesn't matter. I thought Final Fantasy VII had reached its peak. But then, E3 2015, we all saw the trailer. You know the trailer. It was amazing. It was a full remake for the PS4. It was coming. It was going to be awesome. But then we started to hear about some things that were a little less awesome. Like CyberConnect 2, and it was going to be released in episodes. They released that like gameplay teaser where the combat looks kind of funky. It didn't look great. Now, as this is a review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I know the question on your mind is, well, how did you get an early copy? Well, I'll tell you. So I was at the local flea market and I came across this Chinese gentleman. Ni hao xian xiang. Wo bu hui shuo zhongwen. Whoosh. Of course. Dan wo ke yi shi yonggu ge fan yi. How much for this magical gem? Ni de ling wen. $20? Sold. Xiu de xiao zhang. Thank you, sir. Whoosh. Wo shi gui. So I went home, put it in my PS4, and started playing. Huh. That's a little bare bones. Maybe this is just a placeholder. They'll probably fix this in the final release. Oh my god. Wow. And people thought the Spider-Man puddle thing was bad. This is crazy. Look, I like Shovel Knight as much as the next guy, but there's a time and a place, Square-Enix. I blame Stranger Things. Those kids on the fucking bikes riding around making people all nostalgic and shit. But what do I know? Maybe they just saw the sales numbers for Octopath Traveler and have like a little chart that says less bits, more money. You guys have had like 4 years to work on this shit. What are you doing? And that's just lazy. Now, all that being said, I do love some good pixel art, and this does look nice. It looks authentic. It looks like it could have come out in 1985. It is kind of nice to see these little 8-bit versions of these characters I know and love. I like the little dialogue portraits. I love the sprites. As far as that goes, credit where credit's due. It looks good. And if the music's anywhere near the same quality as the visuals, then this could be like a nice little nostalgia piece. No salty doggy balls! Oh my god! What is that? Oh my god, my ears! Who thought this was a good idea? This is terrible. Why is it so high-pitched? Sounds like someone just remixed the Final Fantasy VII music just using dial-up noises. Look, I understand when you remix music in a different format, it might not sound as good, but that's because you have to adapt it to that format. High-pitched notes do not sound good on an NES. It just sounds terrible. All right. You know what? Maybe I'll just play. I'm going to play it on mute, and I'm just going to play my own music. I'm just going to play the original Final Fantasy VII soundtrack over the top of this and see how that goes. All right, that's already much better. Okay. Did they at least get the story right? Well, I mean, I guess it's not technically wrong, but there's definitely something to be desired here. This is almost like Final Fantasy VII Lite or Final Fantasy VII Abridged. It's just a lesser version of Final Fantasy VII. There's not the big FMVs, the pre-rendered cutscenes. Lots of little things are missing, like the ability to make choices. The choices in Final Fantasy VII weren't that large. They didn't affect the overall story. They were just little things scene to scene, like the ability to go on a date with Barrett, or the ability to end up being picked by Don Corneo. But while some things are definitely missing, the stuff that's still there is pretty much faithful to the original, right down to the dialogue being ripped straight from the original translation, for better or worse. Now, no one's really playing Final Fantasy VII for the story. Sure, it's an important part of it, but the graphics, the sound, the story, they're all second to the gameplay. How did this do on the gameplay? Well, it's a mixed bag. On the one hand, it's pretty accurate to how the Final Fantasies were on the NES. Specifically, it reminded me of 3. However, when you compare it to Final Fantasy VII, you really see how far the series had come between the NES and the PS1. Everything is stripped back, like the characters are only able to equip one materia at a time, the equipment is much less varied, and the leveling up system is slow and grindy. The leveling up system for materia and weapons is especially odd. You gain experience by using the weapons and materia, but you have to go into a town in order to level it up. So you go through these long stretches where all your equipment has the max experience you need, but you need to get to a town in order to level it up. Which of course brings me to the battle system, which is long and tedious. Gone is the active time battle system from Final Fantasy VII, which made battles dynamic and exciting. Instead, we're right back to the old 8-bit era of turn-based battles at their purest level. Take a turn, and wait for the enemy to take a turn. Sometimes there are 6 enemies on screen, so you have to wait for all 6 of them to make a move, and then you get to make a move with your guys, and then you have to wait for all 6 of them to make a move. Then you take out one of their guys, and then you have to wait for 5 of them to make a move. This was my second battle in the whole game. Almost 3 minutes for just a random encounter. That's crazy. Just imagine doing that over and over and over again. It gets very tedious very quickly. And why am I fighting these enemies anyway? This is in the first area, what's essentially a power plant. In the original game, the only thing you fought in this area are soldiers, guard dogs, and robots. All things designed to protect the facility. It makes sense that they're there. As opposed to the remake, where the enemy choice is seemingly random. In the first area alone, I fought Sahagins, Spirals, X-Cannons, Devil Rides, Iron Knights, Screamers, Grand Horns, Goblins, Gremlins, Bugandrana, U-Lizards, Sneak Steps, Specters, Cactuars, Death Claws, Unknown. Even the game's running out of names for these things. Needles, Epiolnuses, Get Trunked On, some regular ninjas, Mumble Rap, Overnest. Wait, Dovernest? Dovernest? Is that an O or a D? Looks like a D. And of course, the Scorpion Tank. Frankly, it's a wonder this power plant can even operate when it's overrun with monsters, demons, and evil motorcycles. And honestly, this lack of polish really makes it feel like not even an official game. It almost feels more like a Chinese knockoff made in the 90s to make up for the fact that China didn't have any PS1s, but they had an overabundance of Famicoms. Anyway, the choice to go the nostalgia route definitely didn't really pay off. In almost every way, it's a step back from the original, and except for maybe the novelty of it, I can't recommend it to anyone. I give the Final Fantasy VII Remake a 7 out of 15.
Action. Oh, sweet sassy Christ! Sass my ass! Oh, I'm bleeding from my ears and my ass! Oh God, I'm gay now!